Hey guys, welcome to quarantine workout number 4. I'll start by taking you through the warm-up. Let me bring this over so we can all see. We have 30 seconds here. Oh, let me get it so it's a little bit straighter. We have 30 seconds of plate hops, then inchworms, hollow rocks, more plate hops, Spidermans, arch holds, single leg plate hops, push up to down dog, and then Russian twists. And if you don't have a plate, I would suggest hopping in place will be just fine as well. So actually, let me move this down so you can see a little bit better. Something like that. The first plane hops that we're gonna do, we're gonna go essentially side to side. So you're gonna hop in and then hop out, hop in and then hop out. We're gonna follow that with inchworms, keeping the legs locked out, coming down to the ground, walking out your hands into a back bend. Can you see it? Maybe scoot back a little bit. Here's the back bend. And then walking the hands back until you're back at the toes, and you come up and do it again, etc. Cool guys, hollow rocks. We're gonna be in that hollow position, lower back on the ground, shoulders off the ground, feet up in the air, point those toes, arms back. I'm gonna give myself a little bit of swing and momentum with my toes. Hollow rocks right there. Next, we're gonna go back to the plate hops. This time, we're gonna go in and out, but forward and backward. So that'll look like this. I'm gonna hop in forward, and then go back, forward, and then go back. Cool. Now, I'm gonna follow that with Spidermans. I think most of you know how to do these. Move into that space right next to your foot. You're gonna be in a lunge. Your back knee is gonna be as far back as possible. Try to get that elbow down onto the ground, twist, and come up. Down to the ground, twist, and come up. I would say 15 seconds each side. Twist, and come up. All right, next up we have arch holds, or also known as the Superman hold. You're essentially trying to get just your belly to make contact with the ground, so the legs come up. Can't really see, but legs come up, arms come up, head is off the ground, and try to hold your arch hold here for 30 seconds. Next step, we're gonna have single leg plate hops. So I'll be on one leg, hopping into the plate and out, into the plate and out. Cool, and it says here that we're gonna do that 30 seconds aside. Next up, we have push up to down dog, guys. Push up. Coming out of that push up, I'm gonna push back into a down dog position. Let me move forward a little bit so you can see. I'm gonna try to push my hands through my arms here, and at the same time, I'm trying to keep my heels onto the ground. So there's your down dog. Cool? And finally, guys, a Russian twist. I'm gonna use my plate, and I'm going to try to keep my legs off the ground. I like to twist my feet. Gives me a little bit more of a sense of control and stability. And I'm gonna take that plate, engage through the midline here, make contact with the ground with that plate, and twist side to side. Cool? There's your warm-up. Okay guys, let's talk about today's workout. Let's talk about the WOD. I'm gonna bring over the board so that we can get a good look at it. Essentially what I'm doing here is I'm doing an EMOM, okay? It's gonna be 20 minutes long, and we have 4 movements, including one movement being rest. So this is 20 minutes, meaning if we have 4 movements, we're gonna do 5 sets total of everything. Minute 1, you have 15 to 20 ground to overhead. And it's about picking a number that you think that you can maintain throughout the 5 rounds. 15 to 20 is kind of a range or a suggestion. Minute 2, we're going to do 20 to 30 Russian twists. Same thing, try to pick a number that you think you can maintain in that minute. And minute 3 is max plate facing burpees over the plate, which is a lot of fun. And then minute 4 is going to be a full minute of rest, okay? And again, these are suggestions in terms of the number. Pick something that is going to be good for you, that's going to give you a good workout. Ideally, I want you to be working for about 40 seconds out of that minute with a 20-second built-in rest / transition to get to the next movement, cool? And here your score is your total plate facing burpees over the plate. So if you keep track of how many you're able to get in each round, at the end of the 5 sets, that's going to be your total number, is going to be your score. Cool? And then we have a little bit of accessory work, nothing too crazy, 3 sets of 45 seconds of plate presses. You're going to have a 15-second rest. We're going to do 45 seconds of plate bent over row, another 15 seconds of rest, and then this one's a little bit longer. This is going to be 60 seconds of flutter kicks with a 60-second rest right after that. Hope everybody can see. Hope the glare is not too bad. Cool. All right, I'm going to demo these movements really quickly for you guys. And I should mention too that I'm going to use a plate, but if you don't have a plate at home, a dumbbell can definitely be used for these movements, as well as maybe some other objects that you might have at your house. And I'll quickly talk about that in a second, right after I demo this. Okay, so your 15 to 20 ground to overhead is going to be a plate. I'm going to start nice neutral spine, and again, this is going to be all about keeping a straight back, coming up, extending the hips, and bringing that object overhead. So in real time, it's going to look like this. Really use that hip drive. Notice I'm not rounding my back when I come forward to grab that plate. I want to sink down through the hips. Cool? Come up and fully extend at the top. There's your ground to overhead with the plate. Next up, 20 to 30 Russian twists. Let me just adjust real quick here so that you can see how this is done. This was also in the warm-up, guys, so remember, nice straight back, engage through the midline. Here, I'll angle this a little bit, feet up off the ground, and here are your Russian twists. Also very doable with a dumbbell or any other object. Cool, and finally, max plate facing burpees over the plate or the other object. Fun, fun, fun. There's my plate. I hope this is all in frame for most of it. I'm gonna drop down for that burpee. I can either pop the hips out or step out of that burpee, and I'm going to hop over that plate. And then I'm gonna repeat the same thing on the other side. Pop down into that burpee. I'm facing the plate. I'm gonna either step out or pop the hips and then jump over the plate. Cool? There are my three movements. The fourth movement is a full minute of rest. Cool? So, on that note, in terms of being able to use other objects, say I only have a dumbbell, I could use the dumbbell ground to overhead by doing a dumbbell snatch, which essentially is ground to overhead, and I can just alternate. Cool. On the Russian twists, I could hold that dumbbell in a goblet position like this, get the legs up, lock the feet together, and then I could put the dumbbell to the ground and do Russian twists like that. And obviously, I could just face my dumbbell and then burpee and jump over the dumbbell like that. If you're really in a bind and you don't have a dumbbell or a plate, you could totally grab, say, a backpack, load it up with some stuff, maybe not just your water bottle. I'm sure you have plenty of other stuff at your house you could use to weight it down. Now I have an object I can use for ground to overhead. I have an object I can use for my Russian twists, and I can also use that object to burpee over. Cool, guys? Hope that gives you plenty of options for that. Finally, we'll look at the accessory work here. Bringing up that board one more time. I have 45 seconds of plate presses, plate bent over row, and flutter kicks. So on the plate presses, and again, you could use another object for this. I want to be on my back, and I'm going to essentially do a bench press with a plate or whatever object it is that you're using. Cool, 45 seconds of that, 15 seconds of rest. And then I'm gonna do a bent over row, which I'm gonna hold my object, slide bend in the knee, keep that back nice and straight, come back as far over as you need to really feel those hamstrings turn on. Remember to keep your back nice and straight. Here's your bent over row, pulling the shoulder blades back, pulling the shoulder blades back. There is your bent over row. And again, this could be done with a dumbbell. I'm gonna use my other arm for some stability. If you're gonna be using a dumbbell, pull that shoulder blade back. There's your bent over row with a dumbbell. And the same goes for a different object. In this case, here's my backpack. Why not? As long as I fill it with some heavy objects, that would be a great way to be able to do this movement. Cool? So there's your bent over row. And finally, guys, flutter kicks, flutter kicks, flutter kicks. See here, I think this is working like that. Keep that core engaged. Point those toes, point those toes. There are your flutter kicks. That's gonna get pretty spicy after 60 seconds. So 60 seconds of flutter kicks, followed by 60 seconds of rest. And then you'll repeat all of that for a total of 3 sets. I hope this is a good amount of information on how to do everything. I really look forward to seeing you guys for the Zoom live workout session at 6 p.m. sharp. Hope everybody is staying healthy and safe, and I will see you later. Much love from me and the Brick fam.